Welcome to The Dental Brief, the podcast that delivers actionable insights and expert strategies to help dental professionals like you grow, lead, and succeed. I'm your host, Patrick Shavasty, the president of Omni Premier Marketing. Every week at The Dental Brief, we bring you real conversations from expert speakers that offer expert advice and quick tips that make a real difference in practices nationwide. Whether you're a general dentist or run a multi-location practice, we've got you covered with content that's designed to help you attract more patients, to streamline your operations, reduce headaches in managing your practice, and increase your profitability. If you're ready to elevate your practice, be sure to subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and let's dive into today's episode of The Dental Brief. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Dental Brief. Excited to have with me today's guest back on the program, Jay Malik. Say hello to everyone.
Hello. I hope everybody's doing well today.
I think they're going to be doing better after listening to this. We've got a webinar that we're doing on December 5th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So we're going to kind of talk to our audience a little bit about what to expect. It's an hour. It costs absolutely nothing. You'd actually be crazy not to be there. Let's talk about some dates outside of the webinar on December 5th. What happens on December 31st? What happens when it comes to taxes, deductions? What happens on December 31st that you need to get out in front of?
We have a calendar year basis. The dentists are calendar year basis, which means their fiscal year ends on December 31st. Okay. So once December 31st is over, there's a lot of tax saving strategies which you cannot use because the year has closed now. You can't go back and make changes to use them. Yep. Some things you can use, but most you cannot. So It's very critical that way, that whatever you need to do to save money on taxes, you do it before December 31st to be able to benefit from it this year.
That's right. So you have 6-7 weeks left max from the time that we're recording on this. We're recording this on November 13th, 2025. From the webinar that we're having on December 5th, you'll have less than 25 days, or you have 26 days, but we got some holidays and what have you. So you only have a couple of weeks really. With that being said, a lot of people listening to this already have a accountant. They have somebody that's helping them with their taxes. Why should that person attend the webinar on December 5th? If they've already got someone, why should they show up and listen to what you have to say?
Yeah, the thing is, accountants are good people. They work hard, and many of them know what they are doing, but they focus on preparing of tax returns. So they know where to put the numbers, which boxes to put them in, and when to file. Okay, this is what they do. And they do very well. So they're basically historians. After the events have happened in the practice, meaning transactions have happened, they record it like a good historian and report it to the IRS and the state's taxing authorities. The tax planning part, it needs more than historian. It needs like a visionary. So you can see ahead upfront what you can do now so you pay less tax when the time comes to pay it. Okay? So these are the differences. So there are people who specialize in this, and there are people who do it very well and who've been doing it for years. And then there are tax advisors on TikTok who give all kinds of tax advice to dentists while dancing and all that. Have you seen any of those?
Sure,
I've seen a few of them, yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
So I can't dance and do that on TikTok, so I don't go on TikTok. But so that's the difference.
So two different things. Some bad news and some not as bad news. So the bad news is that you are locked in. Once the end of the year comes around, the December 31st, there are some tax savings that you can no longer take advantage of. However, so there's some that you can't. And it's too late. It's over with, end of story. But there are some things that you can actually go back a couple of years, correct? 2-3 years. Is it 2 or 3 years that you can go back and amend returns?
Yes. If you have missed certain things, you can go back 3 years. 3 years is the max. They let you go back and amend it. Yeah. This year is especially interesting because in this year, they wrote the big, beautiful bill act. Everybody heard about it, which was passed by a couple of months by the Congress. In that, they made a change in the R&D credit, research and development credit. And they specifically allowed that if you did your tax return in a certain way and you did not claim that credit, because at that time law was not allowing it. So you can go back and amend it and claim that credit for all the research and development related activity you have been doing in the practice.
Yeah, it's a big, big savings open there. If I want to tell people this webinar, you're going to go over some secrets, right? And by the way, everything is 100% legal, right? You're paying all of the taxes that you're obligated to, but you're not paying anything that you're not obligated to. So I don't want people to think by any means that, oh, you can do some sketchy things and not pay taxes. That's not the case at all. It's paying no more than what you're legally obligated to pay. You're going to go over some secrets during that time, some things that you've done to save dentists up to 50% on their taxes. Is that right?
Sometimes, yeah, for some dentists, I've seen that if they had done things differently, they would have saved up to 50%.
Yeah. So if you're one of those dentists that thinks, hey, I want a second opinion on what happened back in 2023, right? 2024 taxes, that can happen, right? Like you can actually take a look back and potentially refile taxes if a significant amount of taxes were paid that shouldn't have been paid, correct?
Yes, you can do that. Actually, in my practice, I've been working with dentists for decades, and I go and speak at this topic at different conferences and events. For example, in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to Greater New York Dental Meeting. I'll be teaching 4 courses there on the tax saving strategies. By the way, Greater New York Dental Meeting, it takes place over the Thanksgiving Day weekend. The second day is the day after the Thanksgiving Day, when their first day. The Friday, they have their classes. So, but it's for a whole week. And there are people actually, and this is the largest collection of dentists in the country, the largest meeting. And so what happens is that I go there. I've been going there for years. This time I'm going there as well, and I'll be teaching 4 courses on that. And every time I speak anywhere to dentists, I make an offer that anybody who wants their tax return analyzed for free to see how much they overpaid, how much they could have saved by doing things slightly differently, they simply send over their tax return to me. And if they do that, I will analyze it for free. I give them 2 hours of my time. I have 2 Zoom calls with them and show them without any obligation to use me or anything. Be my client. You don't need to do any of that. And then you can go take those to your own accountant or whatever if you want to make the changes or whatever you want to do. Or at least for future, how you can do things differently and legally save some money in taxes.
Yep, makes sense to me. I'm going to ask you this last question before we go. I want to again invite everyone December 5th, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Click any of the links to sign up. It's absolutely free. There will be a question and answer session, a short question and answer session. And I promise you there's going to be questions that you're going to want to take back to your accountant. There's also going to be a decent amount of you that are going to be like, hey, Mr. Malik, please take a look at my taxes and see what's going on here. Let me ask you this last question before we go. Over the course of a lifetime, over a dentist career, what do you think the average amount of tax overpayment is made per dentist on their taxes?
Okay. It's very common for me to find about $30,000 for tax savings for 1 year for an average kind of dentist.
Jeez.
Okay. But when I say average, I mean a doctor who collects about $900,000 to $1.3, $1.4 million a year in their practice. And if that doctor, now average dental career is about 30 years. So if that $30,000 they had not overpaid in taxes, instead they had taken that money, put it in an investment account where they made a very conservative, say 5% return.
Right.
If they had done that, over a 30-year, at the end of those 30 years, they would have $2 million in that account.
It's crazy. So really what we're doing here is we're not having a webinar on saving taxes. We're having a webinar on how to put your kids to college for free, right? And maybe even your grandkids to college for free. So I want to invite everyone, December 5th. It's absolutely free, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure you sign up and get the reminders. It's going to be a terrific time, terrific webinar. And again, cost you absolutely nothing. Jay Malik, thanks so much for being here and sharing. Can't wait to see you on the 5th.
Thank you very much. I am looking forward to it very excitedly.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Dental Brief. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a colleague who could benefit. We're here to help dental professionals like you stay ahead of the curve, one brief episode at a time. You can find more episodes and resources at thedentalbrief.com. You can also join the Growth-Minded Dentist community on Facebook. Links are in the description. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and thanks for being part of the Dental Brief community.